Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What's going on, guys? Welcome to a brand new episode of Energized. And welcome, Ross, welcome to the show, man.
Oh, thanks. That makes me feel like I'm a guest more than the co-host, but that's fine. Taking our inner Wolf of Wall Street out on the world.
I literally just said, take my lead. Ross, what's the story about how you keep him?
Grand man, another day in lockdown. You know what I mean? Although a different day in lockdown. Obviously, the football is now back, Barry. The Bundesliga was back on this weekend. Yeah. Obviously, very much highlighted by Borussia Dortmund versus Schalke. That's actually a derby game. Borussia Dortmund gave them an absolute hiding, 4-0. What did you make? We'll get into the actual game in a sec, but what did you make of, the pre-match, the way the subs are so social distance, they're all wearing masks. Also, it was a bit reminiscent of the UFC. Like, Joe Rogan standing there and, like, shaking everyone's hand, like, going around, like, basically giving everyone hugs, being like, we're all clean, so what's the matter? I'm sitting there watching the football and everyone's sitting so far apart from each other, wearing masks. And it doesn't make any sense to me because they're all going on the football pitch to tackle each other in 5 minutes' time.
I know. And even for free kicks, people were standing in walls together, like, side by side. As good as it was to have the football back, I didn't really enjoy it. And I'll tell you why. Just like the fans, the emotion that you can hear, it's like the music in the background. You know what I mean? It's like watching football in silence, and like players like get like when the fans roar you on, you can feel it in the game and everything. It's way more life to it, you know.
Yeah, well, the fans play a massive part in everything, and we've seen the UFC football. I'm actually very interested to see a rugby match play with.
But I'm not as affected with the UFC not having fans as I was with the football.
Well, I think in the UFC it's going to actually be a bit more. I think the rugby will be like the UFC as well. They actually get that insight. As opposed to, you were watching German football, so even if the players were talking, you couldn't understand them.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Watching the Premier League, you might actually get a bit, they might speak English, therefore you'll be able to hear what's going on. And you get new insight.
Yeah, I didn't. You see, I don't want to like totally be like, no, the Premier League, like, I don't want the Premier League to be like that because I haven't seen it yet. Like, obviously, the German football is different because you can't understand what they're doing for corners, this, that, and the other.
Right?
Yeah. So like, but the English football, I'm gonna have to see it firsthand and then make a response with that. But obviously, I want to see it back. You know.
Absolutely. That Borussia Dortmund team is actually unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
They really are.
A lot of good, young, exciting talent. I think also seeing like Sancho not starting as well. That was something I was really looking forward to. The amount of videos that have been out about him come to United, not going to United. It was like I was really looking forward to it. I was watching some of the football, and then it was sort of like when you see him, when you hear like a movie's coming out, you're like, can't wait to see that. You go and see it, and you're like, oh, that wasn't great.
We had a chat about them on the phone yesterday, and I was actually like naming all the like unbelievable players they have. I actually think I forgot to even say Marco Reus. It actually dawned on me yesterday because I think I was saying their top three is brilliant, and you were like, "Oh, who's their like starting top three?" And I was like, "Well, obviously Sancho, Haaland," and I was like, "I think it's Torgan Hazard," but obviously it's Marco Reus. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think he's their captain as well. He's been there for so long as well. Fair play to him, like such loyalty, because like Bayern Munich were definitely sniffing around his boxers at one stage.
I think it was because he got injured. Remember, he got injured a couple of times. Yeah. And then when Germany won the World Cup, they actually brought out one of his jerseys and celebrated with it as well, which was a nice touch. But we may as well talk about the football being back, as you said there. Like the Bundesliga is back. Everyone was tuning to see just exactly what it was like if they hadn't already seen the Man U game. That was the Europa League game when that was behind closed doors. Overall, what you make of it being back with no fans? Because I think that's the most important rather than like Bayern Munich winning or Borussia Dortmund winning.
Well, I'd try to give that game 8 out of 10. You know what I mean? Because the standard football was quite good.
Yeah.
When I was watching before the game kicked off, I was thinking, these Borussia Dortmund players are like seriously putting themselves in the shop window for the transfer market. Because when are you ever going to have so many people watching Borussia Dortmund play a football game? It's probably one of the most watched football games in a very long time. And you know what? A few of their players, they didn't really fail to live up to their reputation. Haaland is an absolute sniper. I think his stats this year are incredible. It was 14 goals or 14 games in the Austrian League, 16 goals. I think it was 9 games in the Champions League and 10 goals, and then 8 games in the Bundesliga and 10 goals. The fella scored more than a goal a game. I'd say his goals per minute ratio, because a lot of them came on the subs as well. It's probably about 70 minutes a goal, and he seems to have all the right players around him. Julian Brandt, Torgan Hazard, Jadon Sancho, Rafael Guerrero to actually supply him the goods there.
Who does he remind you of, Ross?
I think it's in certain aspects it's almost a bit like Ruud van Nistelrooy. You put him in front of the goal and you have the utmost confidence that he's putting in the back of the net.
Yeah, that finish.
He's actually
beautiful.
He's sort of bigger than Ruud is though. He's 6'4" as well.
But he has
maybe closer to Zlatan, but without the flicks.
No, well, I think the Van Nistelrooy one's right. The way he runs is sort of donkey-esque. The way Van Nistelrooy sort of was. Remember, Van Nistelrooy ran from the halfway line against Fulham and just kept going. He does run like Van Nistelrooy ran like a horse. He runs a bit like a donkey. I mean, Zlatan wasn't fast over a long distance.
I think I have to agree with you. It's something you look at Ruud van Nistelrooy and you sort of look at him and go, it's not supposed to work out the way it does for you, and then it just works out every single time. I always thought Drogba was a bit like that. I felt like people probably hate you for saying it, but I thought he wasn't that unbelievable of a footballer, but defenders hated playing against him. He was so awkward. He was big. He was physical. He could hold you off. And obviously, Drogba scored some unbelievable goals. It's probably hard to say he wasn't that good, but I thought he was as awkward as he was good.
Yeah, well, didn't he really only blow up when he was around 25?
Yeah.
When Mourinho got his hands on him. Because he wasn't that sought after in Marseille. I think he cost about £15 million, well, which was expensive back then as well.
Where does Haaland rate against your Kane, Aguero, Lewandowski? Where does he rate amongst those players? Because they're sort of actual strikers. Messi, Ronaldo sort of play versatile roles.
Yeah, he has to be the heir to Lewandowski's throne at Bayern Munich next. That's the way they have to see that. But he seems very driven to go on to something bigger, maybe a Real Madrid or obviously Messi's going to go, so they're going to have to change things up. He could go to Barcelona, play down the middle as well. The Juventus, once Ronaldo leaves, the options are going to be he's going to have 10 teams in for him. Give it 2 years, he'd be 21? Is he only 18?
Yeah, 19. So do you think Roy Keane ruined the chances of ever coming to Man United?
He could go to Man City as well. If whoever's going to give him the best option, if you know they're winning trophies, he'll go there.
Someone who did disappoint this weekend.
Hold on, before you go on. Did you see Haaland's interviews post game?
He was so abrupt.
Yeah, what's that? He does it in nearly all the interviews. What's the story with that?
It's almost like a Paul Scholes interview back in the day.
No, it's more arrogant than shy.
I don't know. I feel like he doesn't want to actually do the interview, so he just answers whatever it is.
Yeah, but he doesn't get over. I think rude, though, because it's not like a Zlatan sort of funny.
Yeah, I suppose what's the interviewer
it's more shocking. It's more
the interviewer said it was oh, so we saw you went down to the wall and you capped the wall. He was like, why did you do that? He was like, why not?
He must just have a short fuse.
Maybe he does. Maybe that's what makes him so good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing.
At the end of the day, as long as he's scoring all the goals, I don't give a shit what he says.
Yeah. You're hardly there to listen to his interviews if he's playing shit, yeah.
Yeah, so as long as he bangs in all the goals.
Yeah. What else are you going to say?
Someone who didn't impress this weekend, who was highly linked to a move to the Premier League, was Timo Werner. Leipzig drew 1-1. What do you think the big hullabaloo is about Timo Werner moving to the Premier League? He's very, very strongly linked with Liverpool, but Liverpool are going to struggle to buy a forward because they know they're not going to start.
Yeah, but when you're at a team right now, Leipzig, they're winning nothing, and you're seeing a team that are winning something, and you're if you actually are a winner, you can be like, right, I can go there and take their place. Same way sort of Michael Owens did when he went to Real Madrid. He was like, I don't care that all like Ronaldo, Raul, Morientes, someone else is there. I'm forgetting their name. I don't care that they're there. I'm going to get in. I'll get my game. Timo Werner, like realistically, when like if he gets in and scores, like Mane misses a lot of chances. I know he's probably been their best player this year. Like Firmino doesn't really score at all, so Werner must be sniffing around there, being like, if I do the sort of dog work up front, I could get in there. Especially if you're scoring, if the two of us are doing the same job, except I'm scoring 10 goals and you're scoring none, I'm going to get picked. And then like Salah, there's so much talk about him. Will he stay? Will he go? Who knows? So like someone fresh in there, which could drive them all on really. And once you go there for a year, maybe two, you could leave as well and go back to Bayern. I think these German players all have it in their head. If they go to Bayern, they'll win the Bundesliga.
I feel like Timo Werner just hasn't shown up sometimes. Didn't show up at the World Cup. Didn't show up on the weekend.
He was young though.
Oh, I know he's young, but Haaland's young and he shows up every week. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, like that's the new gold standard. Like Lewandowski shows up every week, and if like Timo Werner, I think is more the heir to Lewandowski's throne, as in like the better chances of Timo Werner end up Bayern Munich than Haaland end up Bayern Munich. And I mean, Bayern Munich can't afford any passengers.
Yeah, but like I think every player gets a pass for that because everyone's going to be rusty. You know what I mean, going into a game like that. But bar Haaland, but I'm sure he scores goals for breakfast. But
what's called what did I say? He hasn't respected what's called the defender since the day he was born.
Yeah, then like obviously Werner has transfers in his head. That's what.
Yeah, but now's the time if your transfers in your head, now's the time you have to shine to get that money move.
I know, but maybe
and at the end of the day, the bigger your transfer fee, the more wages you can ask for.
Yeah, well, give everyone 3 games and then people will be back into it. I mean, this is technically a pre-season. Look at Sancho on the bench as well.
Yeah,
I say if he wasn't linked with a move, he would have been starting.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
I suppose you want to keep the team that you're going to have next year as well playing.
Yeah, it's just a smart move, especially with
those players happy.
Yeah, but especially the way you said with that much talent. At the moment, Bayern Munich are winning the league with 58 points. Dortmund are coming second with 54 points. And Mönchengladbach are coming third with 52. And then Ross said RB Leipzig are coming fourth with 51 points. But Ross,
tight up there.
Yeah, I mean, like, after watching that game, are you, like, looking forward to seeing it again? Or are you just like, right, this is just me checking it out for once?
Well, I'll definitely keep a closer eye on the German league just because it's so tight up the top as well. You know what I mean? I'll look up the scores. I'll watch the highlights. I don't know if I'll be watching all the games. I don't know if we're watching Wolfsburg versus Stuttgart at the weekend. But I'll definitely keep an eye on it. Obviously, if Dortmund play Bayern Munich, I'll definitely be watching that. Or, if the top 4 are playing each other, I'll try watch the game where possible.
Yeah, I'm sort of the same. I wasn't blown away by it. But, I'll keep an eye on it.
I think Lewandowski scoring, was it twice the weekend?
No, once.
I think, or once. He went over 40 calendar goals or something like that, and this is the 5th season where he scored over 40 goals. I think only Messi and Ronaldo have done it in 5 seasons. Now he's there as well.
Back in the day, I think 2012, back in the day. I think, not
was
that
he supposed to go to Blackburn or something?
Yeah.
Is that what you're going to say, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, but for ages he was doing 2-year stints at all the clubs, wasn't he?
I'm not entirely sure, but man, what a career he's had. Ross, here, look, Premier League, let's talk about it for a sec. I was trying to bring it up with the lads. Suppose right now, like, players are back training. There is talk that it's meant to be coming back on June the 1st. Realistically, next season, they were planning on starting the league they usually start on a Friday. So
August.
So it would have been Friday, August the 14th.
Yeah.
Or else the week before that, which would have been August the 8th. No.
Okay, yeah.
9th. Yeah,
anyway, the first, yeah, I get you.
Yeah. So, okay. So
the second or third week in August, they were going to start the Premier League.
Yeah. So my point is, do you think they'll get back on June 1st? And if not, do you think they should just wipe the league and start fresh the second or third week of August? Because the transfer window is meant to be open on June 1st as well.
I think they should wipe the slate clean and start again, to be honest. And that's nothing to do with like Liverpool win the league or not. I just think they're not going to get all the games done. I'd rather they have next season started than try and restart it. And as we said earlier, the coronavirus pandemic in England is quite bad. It's much worse than it is in Germany. So therefore, I don't think they'll have the opportunity to really get that job done and get the league complete. Could they get enough games to get relegation and promotion sorted, or relegation and champions sorted? Definitely. But, all the spots, depending on where you finish in the league, really do matter financially for each club.
You see, I know the season's not finished. I know Liverpool are I think need 2 wins to win the league. But if you bring players back now, right?
Right.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah, so if you bring the Premier League back now, and basically Liverpool almost have the league won. I know loads of players are going to be back from injury, but then if they're playing 3 games a week and they're going to overdo it, players are going to get injured 100%. That's going to happen, and then they're almost getting injured for no reason when they could just start afresh next year. And also, some of these players, when they come to the end of their contracts, if they're out injured, say they're out for a year, no one's going to want to buy them as well. So
yeah, but also 3 of the Brighton players apparently have the coronavirus, and then they can't play. So what happens when your players start to get the coronavirus? Are you going to be like, oh, well, you're just going to have to play without those players? Because what if, Dunk, Duffy, and Webster all got the coronavirus? They're the 3 starting centre halves for Brighton. You know what I mean? Do you have to, call players up from the under-21s and be like, right, you can play?
Yeah, that could happen to any team, man. That could happen to Liverpool. Yeah. Mane, Salah, and Firmino, just having a quick chat, they all coughing each other, and then they're out, and then Shaqiri's back in the fold, And
Origi.
And Origi, yeah. But I think the final call is going to be made June 1st. It's going to be on or off, or else let the transfers just sort of happen and everyone stay home and then starting August 15th.
And then there's the Champions League as well.
I think that's totally not going to happen.
Although I'm a bit devastated because I was actually enjoying the Champions League this year.
I know, yeah, and the Europa League as well.
Yeah. So I don't know what they're going to do. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, but overall, obviously the Premier League, we're looking at.
And then on top of that, Man City, do you restart the year so they play Champions League, or do they not play Champions League? Do Man United get in the Champions League, or do they not get in the Champions League?
Oh, I actually hate talking about this. That's why we haven't been doing that many football shows in this, because.
Yeah, but I hate hypotheticals. I'm just we'll find out the facts and then we'll let you know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's just interesting to talk about it once a week, not every day. I feel bad for the football channels. They're just making up these transfers all the time. You know what I mean? It's just who can we link to who? Sancho, Grealish, Pogba. I was like, oh, give me a break. But obviously the Premier League, we're looking at the Bundesliga, so I'm sure we're going to find out soon.
Yeah, in fairness, all the players aren't even doing social distancing. Apparently Kyle Walker's been caught twice, going to Sheffield and going somewhere else, and meeting his mom, meeting his sister, and then Tammy Abraham was caught out on a date with a model, and then Jack Grealish crashed his Land Rover. You know what I mean? So these players can't even stay inside their mansions for a few weeks, let alone do the rest of the stuff.
That English midfielder from Wolves, something White, Gibson White maybe.
Yeah.
He won the World Cup with the under-17s, I think it was, with England. But he drove from Wolves down to London to party with people who were on Love Island. Greg O'Shea, were you there? But you see, it's weird. It is really weird. These lads, I'm not going to be feel sorry for the footballers, but these lads have their lives regimented, routine every day since probably around, majority of them say around 14, 15, 16, right? And now they have free time in their hands, and their meals aren't being made. They're not being told what to do. They're not being told what to do. They've been that's why loads of players, once they retire, they're the routine, it actually joins them to they hit the drink or go gambling. They go off the rails. But these lads now actually have to sort of fend for themselves, and a lot of them are oh shit, what am I meant to do, this, that, and the other, and the mental health is going all over the place. So you can sort of feel sorry for them in that way, for the ones who suffer with mental health. I feel with mental health, you could just be oh, I was feeling depressed just to get out of stuff, you know what I mean? But realistically, under it all, you're I'm actually fucking grand. But they're used to like 80,000 people shouting, not 80,000, but like 20 to 30 to 40,000 people shouting at them every week, to being around people all the time. So just to exile yourself in a massive gaff, that must fuck you up somehow.
Yeah, but you can't feel sorry for these people like in their
I know.
absolute mansions.
I
Like
know.
I saw Alison's gaff, and I was like, fucking hell! I was like, that yoke is like a museum. Like that's the size of the thing.
Yeah.
I think I tagged in that before. I sent that to you where he's thrown the ball into his attic, didn't I?
Yeah, well, like if you think about some of the footballers, like some of them will be happily married, right? Other ones will be like doing the dirt in their wives, like and being like having to have proper conversations with their other halves now and being like, oh shit, you know what I mean? It's like, like who's Tammy texting you? It's like, oh, Tammy Abraham, like doesn't even play for you, but like just like a lot of people's like personal stuff is getting messed up. Like some of these lads are single as well, have massive gaffs. Like Jesse Lingard, like I remember they gave a tour of his gaff, and like he's never even used the oven. So like yeah, some of the people have all this like huge houses and live there by themselves, etc. You know.
I hope someone else has used them.
Joe's been brilliant over this period as well. Marcus Rashford, he's been doing so much stuff online, so many Zoom calls, tweeting loads of people, making loads of people's days. Like he's one person.
Yeah, I think he's provided like school lunches for the entire country.
Yeah, I'm sure other players have done the same, but he just keeps popping up in my timeline for just doing a lot for the community.
It might be because you don't follow Jimmy Bullard. He played for Hull.
Jimmy Bullard. Is there any other footballers that stood out for you?
No, I'm pretty sure Zlatan donated quite a lot of money towards it. He's done great. I'm sure Ronaldo has, like, he's like constantly doing that sort of thing. Yeah. But look, I'm sure there's plenty of them that are doing their bit. Because Roy Keane said that before about like taking wages and stuff like that, taking pay cuts. And Roy Keane was like, some people are very, very generous, and some people like are not. But like, it's irrelevant. Like, that's what they're contracted to pay you, so like they should pay you that.
Yeah, it is a business. Anything else to say in the football, Ross? Because like overall, it was good to have it back because that means stuff is getting back to normal.
But I think I'll hold off on buying the Lederhosen, but no, it was good to see another sport, bar the UFC, back. And it was good to see a team sport back where you have 25 people on the pitch if you include the two linesmen and the ref. You know what I mean? Like that's fairly good going.
Yeah. Prost. Ladies and gents, myself and Ross are on the rocky road to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube, or if you're on Spotify, make sure to subscribe because we're nearly on 300 there. Yeah, we really appreciate if you subscribe because once it gets a certain amount of numbers, we can then actually get bigger people and better people on. Even though we've had like some very big names on anyway.
Just be sound and subscribe, will you?
Yeah, it's free. It's free. But Ross, this was good. We'll have to do it again later on the week if there is another MMA event. And I think we might have an interview on this week as well. We'll see what the situation is with that. But it's good to be back. Hopefully people are staying safe. Anything else?
No, I'll just reiterate what you said. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe because it means a lot to us and it means nothing to you. So thanks a million. And as always, stay energized.